On the show, in Wheelspin, we ride the Kawasaki Ninja 1000. On the launchpad, we have a look at the Tata Motors racing truck, the Prima, for this year. And on the launchpad, we have a look as Mercedes-Benz India launches its latest, the CLA. And Tata Motors announces the prices for its latest hatchback, the Bolt. And in the best of luxury driving, we drive the Mercedes-Benz E350 CDI to Little Run of Kutch. What I'm going to ride today is a machine which sports the legendary Ninja badging here. But this is, as you can see, not exactly the Ninja that comes to mind when you think of the word Ninja and Kawasaki. This is not a full sports bike, full fairing, low slung and furiously fast. Instead, this is a machine which is designed for both sports as well as touring. A sports tourer in short, a bike which is raised with a higher ground clearance, more upright riding position, and of course you can, as the positioning proposes, ride long distance very comfortably. This is the Ninja 1000. The Ninja name needs no introduction for any serious biker, and over the years the Ninja has only evolved, and in the process bringing the very best of technology, design and riding ergonomics for the rider. And the range too has grown to include machines which are different from the initial Ninja, which were bred for some serious speeds and cutting-edge performance. Though the theme still continues with motorcycles like the R14 now, which is essentially the spirit of the Ninja brand and epitomizes everything Kawasaki wanted to put in a superbike. But now the Ninja brand extends to naked bikes like this 1000cc, a machine which will provide exhilarating performance but also will double up as an everyday commuter and even long-distance tourer. The Ninja 1000, however, ensures that it carries the same Ninja DNA in terms of performance and styling, and even the green Kawasaki color. The power for this Ninja comes from this inline 4-cylinder double overhead cam engine which displaces exactly 1043cc and produces 142 brake horsepower as peak power and a very healthy 111 Newton meters of torque. And the engine is bolted onto a very light aluminum chassis which translates into a very nice power to weight ratio. But the best part about riding this machine are these twin exhausts. Every time you rip open the throttle, what you hear in true Japanese superbike tradition, a banshee-like wail. And this is something which makes the driving experience so very enjoyable. What I really like about the engine is that it's ready to pull from almost any RPM till the red line, and the power delivery is instant, and deliberately induced intake howl makes sure that you like the sound as well as it goes about doing its job. And the job in true Ninja tradition is simple: to haul you as fast as it can. And believe me, it is fast. As I told you earlier, this is one machine which is really easy to ride. The handlebars are raised and it's easy to grab, so you don't have to really lean forward. In fact, you have a much more upright riding position, plus the seats are well padded. So what this means is that long hours of highway riding without any fatigue. It's a really enjoyable bike to ride. This machine also comes with traction control, ABS and different riding modes. Depending on your skill as a rider, you can set the power. You can have the full or you can cut it down to low. And in terms of traction control, there are 3 modes depending on the surface you are riding. If you want the full one on and you want to ride it like a sports bike, you switch it on to 1, or you can get down to mode 3, which is meant more for slippery conditions and to make sure that the bike grips properly. The relaxed riding position is what makes this bike so very rider-friendly. Okay, it's not as wickedly as fast as a superbike, but then the strength of this machine is that it balances very well performance and rideability. This is a machine you can ride for hours without getting tired, and for the serious speed freaks, it's fast enough as well. with a top whack of over 250 kilometers an hour and sprints to the 100-kilometer mark in just 3.3 seconds. The instrumentation here is a combination of analog and digital. While you get the speed readouts in digital, which is very easy to read even if you're riding at high speeds, plus all the level settings are in digital. What you get is an analog tachometer. But what I miss in this is the gear shift indicator. I wish they had given a gear shift indicator as well to tell you which gear you are riding in. But one good thing is this windscreen. This is actually adjustable in terms of the rake. Depending on the speeds you are going at and the amount of deflection you want, you can change the angle. And that's a rather handy thing. This is the latest model of the 1000cc Ninja, and Kawasaki, while designing this machine, has drawn inspiration from the Japanese word sugomi, which means that the person or the object generates an intense aura or energy or an object of greatness which inspires awe. Consequently, you see the headlights designed as feline eyes, which seems to trigger off an instant reaction. And I must say that the designers have succeeded, as this 1000cc Ninja certainly stands out with its radical design, and is certainly one of the most attractive naked bikes around. Within the Kawasaki stable, there are several machines which sport the Ninja brand name. But if you don't want a full-fledged sports bike, then I think you should only have a look at this one, because this is the biggest and the most powerful one. But unfortunately, the competition for this comes from its own sibling, the smaller 800cc, which is similarly styled, but is priced at rupees 5 lakhs less than this one. And a lot of people think that that's better value for money. But what I can tell you is that this is a machine which is much more complete, although only 200cc is more, but it's a lot more powerful, lot more better looking, and a more wholesome bike. The price difference is because the 800cc is imported from Thailand and this comes from Japan. Well, Kawasaki is certainly charging you for whatever they have put in this machine. At rupees 13.8 lakh on road Delhi, this is not a machine for everyone. But if you are a serious rider with abilities to handle a seriously fast machine, then you should consider this, because this is one of the best available in the market today, and it tops in terms of rideability. If some of you out there who like sports bike, but what you don't like in a sports bike is the low crouch riding position, then I must tell you should have a look at this one, because this is one bike which has corrected all this very well. In fact, this is a bike which is extremely easy to ride with a nice upright riding position. And in terms of performance, I can tell you, she is pretty much up there with the big boys. Some of you might think that this is a bit of a compromise between a sports bike and a touring bike. And if indeed this is so, I would say this is a very good one, because it mixes both the attributes very, very well. A bike which is good on performance, a bike which looks nice, and a bike which is so very easy to ride. In fact, this is a bike I would love to ride all week and even on the weekends. Tata Motors took a pioneering leap last year in the arena of motorsports when they started truck racing in India last year, and they are all set to continue this. In a press conference this week, Tata Motors announced its plans for this year and to an extent for the years to follow as well, and also unveiled the truck for this year's championship. One of the most exciting forms of motorsports just got better. What you see here is the 4-ton monster from Tata, the Prima range of trucks which Tata started racing last year. And the good news here is that they are going to continue racing it at the BIC again this year. And even better news is that this truck has some improvements to it which will make it even more exciting.
This year too, like last year, there will be 6 teams comprising of 2 trucks each, which will race for the title on the Bodh International Circuit in Greater Noida with a curtailed track length of 3.1 kilometers per lap, and there will be just 1 day of racing this year as well. And that seems rather unfortunate considering the interest it had generated last year, when close to 20,000 spectators had landed up to watch these trucks racing and fight for the podium position. But like last year, this year too, the drivers will be sourced from overseas, as this is a new sport for India and Indian drivers need to be initiated into this. But Tata plans a whole new breed of drivers for the coming years, and they do have plans to groom them as well.
What I meant by excitement is simple. If you're going to go racing this truck, or even if you are a spectator sitting out in the stands, what you will see is that this truck is going a whole lot faster than last year. Tata has made changes to this truck, and this year is going to do 130 kilometers top speed instead of the 110 it did last year. And how did Tata achieve this? Simple. What they did was reduce the weight by 10%, and they also brought the center of gravity lower, which means that this is going to be much more stable around the corners. Plus they added 220-litre pressurized water tanks, which is going to spray water on the disc to make the braking more efficient. And if you're a driver or even if you're a spectator, this means little keener competition and the truck's going much faster. If you look at this monster, you might really wonder how safe is it really to go racing in this, but I can tell you this is as safe as any other motor car that goes racing. It meets all the mandatory safety regulations. It has a roll cage, it has a 5-point seat belt, it has a circuit breaker, the works, and it's really safe, in fact, as safe as motor racing gets anyways. In addition to all the changes this year, the truck this year also gets a larger rear view mirror. This is done on the feedback of drivers last year. They wanted a larger mirror to get a wider field of vision, because the assumption was that in case you knock off one of these mirrors, you don't get to see anything behind. So this larger mirror should help.
Other modifications include changes to the fuel tank, which has been placed on top of the chassis instead of at the bottom, as in normal trucks. Brake cooling system, propeller shaft guards, racing seats, exhaust systems, steering wheel, and of course specially made tires, which are supplied by JK, a tire manufacturer with years of experience in motor racing. The trucks were designed in-house, and needless to say, they have gone through multiple quality checks and major testing at the BIC and Tata Motors Jamshedpur testing facility to ensure that they are race ready.
In terms of mechanicals, this truck this year also remains pretty much the same. Same 8.9-litre turbo diesel unit with a 9-speed gearbox, but it weighs less, so which means more efficient. So if you are in Delhi, be at the Bodh International Circuit on the 14th and 15th of March, when Tata is actually going to start racing this Prima range of trucks for their second edition of the championship.
Mercedes-Benz India this week formally launched their compact sedan, the CLA. We had on the show earlier previewed the CLA, and what we said is that this is one smart-looking car which will beat most in terms of its looks and also beat the competition in terms of interior space it offers. The CLA is a well-made car and well-equipped too, which truly reflects the Mercedes-Benz badging that it wears. However, it was the price which remained to be revealed. And this is what Mercedes announced this week along with the trim levels. The CLA will be sold in 2 trims, Sport and Style. In the Sport trim, both the diesel and the petrol will be available, while as in the Style trim, only the diesel will be sold. The base diesel is priced at Rs 31.5 lakh, while the petrol Sport trim will cost Rs 35 lakhs and the diesel Sport will be priced at Rs 35.9 lakh. Tata Motors' latest car, the Bolt, based on the Vista X1 platform which it shares with its sedan sibling, the Zest, was launched this week. Tata Motors have priced the base petrol variant at Rs 4.45 lakhs and the base diesel at Rs 5.5 lakhs. There will be 4 variants each for both the fuel options. The strength of the Bolt is that it is a car which is well equipped, comes with many features like a complete infotainment system, which is quite an upgrade in terms of what you get in cars in this class. Plus the petrol Revotron engine which was developed in-house by Tata, and this is an engine which is quite refined and returns good fuel efficiency. Plus the car handles quite well. What we like most is the interior space it offers, which again makes the Bolt quite comfortable. So overall, we see the Bolt as a nice addition to the hatch segment in India, more so as it is priced well.
There are so many amazing places to see on planet Earth and so many exciting ways to travel to these places. But today I'm sure is my lucky day because I have what is going to be a beautiful destination, and to take me there, well, I couldn't have asked for more. This is the Mercedes E Class. And while you can probably tell that from the exterior and the grille, what you haven't seen yet is this is the E350 CDI, the latest and most powerful E-Class, and it comes with a V6 3-litre diesel engine and can go from 0 to 100 in 6.6 seconds. But I'm certainly getting ahead of myself. I'm not even in the driver's seat yet. It's time I change that. The little Rann of Kutch is only around 100 kilometers away from Ahmedabad, so we're going to cover that distance in no time. And that actually makes me really sad because driving this E350 is such a pleasure. It's just so smooth. The accelerator is super responsive and it's so comfortable and luxurious as well. These seats are just great, and I'm most impressed by all the intelligent assist features. They're such a convenience. It's really just an absolutely brilliant drive, and I am super enjoying this journey. When driving around Gujarat, you'll be amazed how good the roads are, even in rural areas. But it's likely that you'll have to frequently make way for some four-legged friends. I've just arrived at the gorgeous little Rann of Kutch, and at least to my eyes, this is nature at its harshest and most compelling. I feel like this barren white landscape really has a surreal quality with the way that the sand reflects the sunlight, and I'm eager to explore. And what's really nice about visiting in the winter is that even at midday with the sun beating down on you, the temperatures are actually really cool. So my adventure is just about to begin, and I hope I can spot some interesting wildlife. The Little Rann is a salt desert, believed to have been a shallow sea at one time. It can be considered a large ecotone, a transitional area between marine and terrestrial ecosystems. It may look arid and forbidding, but it's home to many species of animals and birds, as well as unique flora. The Little Rann of Kutch is home to the last remaining population in India of khur, or the Asiatic wild ass. and I've been really lucky today to get quite close to them. They seem remarkably comfortable with human beings, even though they're in their natural habitat. This is very much just the asses in the wild. And now I'm also told that there's flamingos here, and so I'm hoping that next I can spot some of those. There's huge bird populations at the Little Rann of Kutch, and I believe this is the right time of year to flamingo watch, so that's where I'm off to next. Khurs are surprisingly fast and strong. How strong, how fast? They can run at up to 80 kilometers an hour and can maintain a speed of over 50 kilometers an hour even over long distances. But speaking of fast and strong, the E350 has been a real champion. Not only is she a super luxury sedan with a fantastically powerful engine, but I'm on my way to the marshlands for some bird watching, and she has even been able to conquer some seriously rugged terrain, from sand to swamps. After checking out the Khur population in the Little Rann Sanctuary, I thought I'd stop by the Nawa Talao Lake in the marshlands to see if I could spot any migratory birds. And I was lucky enough to see a small cluster of lesser flamingos, although they were pretty far away. But what was a pleasant surprise is that I also managed to see a pelican, a couple of Siberian cranes, and actually several other bird species as well. And I will admit that bird watching requires a lot of patience, but then when you spot something, it's extremely rewarding. After some good animal and bird spotting, it feels like it's been quite a fulfilling day. All in all, I have to say it's been a pretty great trip. I still can't get over the vastness of the horizon here. It's just as if it expands forever and I could literally drive off into the sunset. The Little Rann of Kutch is a wonderful place for a weekend escape into nature, and there's plenty of great options to stay here, from eco-hotels to little cottages. There's really something for every budget. But it's time for me to get going, and while I'm sad to be leaving, I have to admit that I'm delighted to be getting back at the wheel of this exquisite E350 CDI. See you next week.